Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another historical humans heritage. Today, we are going to the land down under. We are going down to Australia and going to its founding. Ooh, we are going to be talking about the Australian convict sites.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's all Australia is known for, right?
yeah. This is
Nothing else.
colonial founding of Australia by the British. Um,
Yeah.
Low lie the fields of Athenry.
Oh, a
All
great
I'm gonna say
song.
about that. But yeah, basically, when the British claimed the entire continent of Australia for themselves, they decided that the best way to populate it was as a penal colony, which meant that if you broke a law, um, you could be shipped off to the other side of the world and made to serve out your days in forced labor in Australia,
It could be as
with
little as
no
something as like
plans to ever return you.
it could be as little as stealing bread
Oh,
So
that could get you
that
sent to Australia.
that's one of the
well, there,
interesting things that points out to me is that around 166,000 men, women, and children were sent to Australia over the 80-year period that this was enforced.
yeah, this was the first. Yeah, um, there were there were many things which of which you could be convicted of that seem rather strange to us, such as owning land while Irish or having a job while not Anglican.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's a. Oh, I wonder how that one
Yeah,
started.
having a public office without being Anglican is a federal offense at this time. Uh,
Yeah, this
so
is a
many weird
period.
English laws
I think it's
designed
also
for no real purpose,
I,
but
I think it's
this site
also
here.
I think an important note to point out though too is this is also right around the time that England outlawed slavery. I mean, it's within 20 years or so, but it's interesting to see that they switched to using prison labor in
Yep,
colonial
yep.
endeavors.
There,
Oh,
yeah.
that's a
In,
conversation that could be sparked about in the U.S. too.
Oh!
In American terms, they had a continent-sized license plate factory.
Yeah, where they essentially got free labor.
Yeah.
But it's not
The,
slavery because they are
yeah,
convicted criminals. So
yeah,
therefore it's somehow okay.
yeah. The difference being when they let you out here, you're let out on a continent with no money on the other side of the world. At worst, you're usually on the other side of the state in America.
I think I can't remember entirely, but I think there were like they would be convicted to about like 10 years. I think somewhere between 5 to 10 years to the island, or well, I guess not island. Well, maybe.
It's a
Yeah.
Well,
continent. It's a
continent to the continent. And in some cases they would end up staying, and then in
yeah,
other cases they could return after their sentence if they survived,
yeah.
because not everybody really survived in this situation.
Yeah. And keep in mind, this is not a free speech society. So a number of the people sent here are political prisoners, are people who spoke out against the government, are people who just the government considered undesirable and made up crimes to get rid of. You know, sort of like a lot of loitering laws in the United States. This is sort of this sort of that idea on steroids, and the site in particular that we are looking at are the original convict settlements. You can see they're pretty dreary. They're very standard issue prison looking. Little rundown because it's been a century or so since their use, at least.
Fuck
And
too.
this is on UNESCO's World Heritage Site because it represents a mass human migration
Forced.
from yeah, it is a forced migration, but it is still a mass migration from the British Isles to the continent of Australia. And so this is preserved because this is the how and why these people came over on prison ships for made up crimes.
And
Yeah,
the UNESCO article actually does highlight that this was a testimony to the legal punishment that dominated the 18th and 19th centuries in large European colonial states. At the same time as and after the abolition of slavery. And then they also, in the next paragraph, They influenced the emergence of the penal model in Europe and America.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for those of you who don't quite understand the like full extent of that kind of punishment, this is a time period where like you said, some people could have been sent here for stealing bread. It was not uncommon for stealing to be a hanging offense. So much so that instead of getting caught stealing a sheep, you might say you were having a little too much fun with the sheep, so you only lost a hand.
Allegedly.
But yeah,
So yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, this site. Let's talk about the site itself, because that's what's being preserved here.
Yes.
Has a lot of horrible history around it, but this site is really complex because it's not one location. It's 11 separate locations, 11 separate penitentiaries that are the Australian convict sites, which makes sort of assessing the integrity of a lot of them and their authenticity somewhat difficult, as they were neglected in various ways at various times, and not even all constructed together. So what might be an innovation in one might be a historical misallocation in another, in terms of preservation and maintenance.
I will say it does highlight that there are no major direct threats to any of the sites forming the serial property.
Yeah, no, there are no major threats, so that's good. It's not about to be destroyed, which is rare.
Good job, Australia.
But
Yay!
one of the fun things, just assessing, like with preservation and reconstruction, assessing what this particular site would look like is difficult to use the other 10 because they were, neglected and constructed at various different stages over the 50 years that this was going on. So, they would have looked different. They would have had different designs and materials. And you can't use one as the blueprint for another, which is kind of unique since they're all in this together, because they're all basically the same thing. It's a uniquely infuriating problem for the preservationists.
Yeah.
Pieces don't fit together.
Nothing's easy. Everything's difficult.
They're all in the same
especially in
spot.
this field, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And this one was inscribed in 2010. It was so it's only been on UNESCO for a dozen years or so at this point. So I think that might win the award for youngest World Heritage Site we've covered
So far.
Yeah.
So
It's
far.
winning the award. We are having breakthroughs. I believe the previous youngest coverage went to the sites in Korea.
No, actually, it was the Congregational Church in Chicago.
But that is a National Register site.
Oh, true. You said UNESCO.
Not a UNESCO site. That was our dip into the National Register to let you all know just what inspired us to start making this series. We will go back to the National Register at some point, but let's be honest, UNESCO is just so much fun.
Especially
so
when they have
much.
It's
a
nice,
big world,
beautiful
guys.
pages too.
Yeah.
Because we like our visual references, but on
Maybe
that
one day
note,
we'll actually go to these sites.
yes,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah. Let us know if you'd support a historical humans travel series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
join the what is it? Our members club?
Yeah, YouTube members down below.
Yeah, join the members club. Fund our trips so we can go to these places and video for it.
Exclusive
Yeah.
benefits listed below.
And on that overly ambitious ship to Botany Bay,
Yay, Botany Bay!
we bid
So
you
no
all
one ever.
adieu and wish you well on your Atlantic voyage.
Okay,
Like,
hold on.
subscribe, do what you want with the video, leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing and all that. And we'll see you next time.
Yay, indifference.
Triple H.